Yo, what's going on, guys? We are back with another video. I'm really excited. I know I always say that, but what can I say? I'm always excited. Um, I'm always trying to do something new, something different for you guys. I'm always experimenting with my content and types of videos for what you guys enjoy. So we did something different today. I actually got some Pred friends together to discuss the season 13 rank changes. So I have been playing the game since preseason, and since Apex has been out, there's always been a lot of discussing the rank changes that have happened over the seasons, and we've had some minor tweaks and things here and there, but nothing as drastic as this season. So we got some pretty sweaty, cracked players, friends of mine, to join. And discuss the season 13 rank changes. A bit longer of a video today, but I think there was a lot of good things discussed, and I think it gives a good side for the console pred perspective of the season 13 rank changes. So I hope you guys really do enjoy the video, and if you do, make sure you slap that like button. Uh, Oh my god. Make sure you slap that like button, subscribe if you're new, and make sure you hit that post notification bell so you get notified every time I go live on a daily here. We have a good time. Come hang out with us in the chat, and we be dropping videos every week. Alright? I love y'all. Appreciate you guys. Peace. I've never done this type of vid, so I mean, honestly, I have no idea. But what's going on? Why don't we start with everybody saying, I guess, just like their gamer tag and fucking Preds and stuff, or like what seasons you guys hit Pred, whatnot.
Alright, I'm Pressure. I go by Laser now, but I've been Pred season 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, and I am Pred again. Um, yeah.
Yeah, so Pressure is actually one of the, well, actually, he is the only current Pred for season 13 in the party right now. So that's actually really cool. So I'm excited to have him here with us. And we got Alex. Alex has been Pred since what?
Season 8.
Season 8. We got Minathon. Been
Yo.
Pred since what? Season.
Season 2 when I first came out, and then I just play on and off. So I've been Pred season 6, 9, and 12, and also 2 as well.
Did you guys play in the early seasons though, right? Like you guys were still playing ranked, or most of you in like season 4, season 5,
Yeah.
6.
Yeah.
Okay. Nunez, because Nunez, you hit Pred season 7 or 8
I started hitting Pred after season 8.
after
So
season
season
8.
8 was my first time.
Alright. So what do you guys think was like the hardest ranked season so far, like over Apex? Like, cause Apex changed, like it was sweatier in the beginning, right? And then everything changed after season 7. It got hella easier. Do you guys think it was like that much easier, or not easier? Sorry, harder in the earlier seasons? Like, do you think it was
Yes.
that much harder? You do
Most
think?
definitely. A
Yeah.
lot of comp players that are on PC right now actually came from PlayStation. They were in these lobbies very active. Play against them regularly. So it was a lot harder back then. Now it's just
Yeah.
a whole bunch of pub randoms just mixed in with the lobbies. Now everybody else is pretty much on PC.
Hmm.
And I will say that back then it was mostly based on pure gun skill. So anybody who was just a better player would just roll his lobbies. Now it's just more ability based, and even say luck based, to be honest. Like you don't need that much skill now to actually be able to gain and hit Pred now
Yeah.
compared to back then.
What about the
Back
rank
then.
system itself? Like with season 8 and stuff. Like, do you think that played a big part in like teetering off the skill gap? Like with how free, I guess you could say,
Oh
Pred.
yeah,
You think that was a big part of it?
yeah. Because Pred is easier to hit now. Because there's like more Preds
That was when they
instead
added
of like 500.
750 with season
Even
8,
in
right?
season 8, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because I know Masters became a joke, right? But like part of this, like why you guys are here, why we're discussing this, is like the top of ranked, right? The Pred. I've never actually hit Pred or well maintained Pred either, right? So that's why you guys are here. So we have your opinion. So I'm asking like for the top of Apex, the rank system, right? Obviously, Masters became a joke after season 7, season 8, season 9. It started not like being a thing. But what about Pred? Was that still like the same? Was it still Pred? Was you think it was harder, easier?
We're talking about now compared to back then.
Yeah, like compared to prior to
Well,
season 7.
and when is it that they added 750 Preds?
I think it was
Season
season
eight.
Season 8.
8.
Season 8.
Season
Okay,
Season
8.
8.
because regardless, hitting like for example top 100 Pred is always like kind of commendable, right? Because it always takes a lot of time, and usually the top 100 players are all like the good players that are playing Pred, right?
Mhm.
But ever since they added 750 spots, there's obviously people in there that have never been Pred before, or
Yeah, it made it a lot easier for sure.
yeah, it's just made it a lot easier.
Brooks became #1 right after season 8.
He's a demon, bro. He's a demon.
uh, so for the master stuff that I was talking about too, because like with season 13, the new everybody, that's the whole season 13, everybody's saying it's crazy hard and like ranks more respectable now. Do you guys think that the lower ranks are going to be more respectable as well, like diamond, masters? Do you think Pred, because like I know some of you guys in here more than others, like Nunez and stuff, and I've talked a lot about the rank system and stuff, and like Pred being a joke and whatnot. Even last season was like Pred was even free or whatnot, but this season, do you think it's finally better? Do you think we're going in a good direction with holy crap, like this actually feels competitive again? This feels good. This feels like ranks respectable, Pred, Masters, like there's going to be better players in these ranks, or
It's gonna be the same players because you still merge with platinum diamond lobbies, but
Yeah.
Mhm.
it's a little bit of a chore now compared to what it used to be. I didn't mind it where it was, but now you really have to play how AOGs are played. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
getting paid to play ranked, but it kind of feels like I gotta get paid now to play this game. The way
Yeah,
people are playing now.
yeah, that's true. Like, I mean, now people have something to lose, right? You go into a
Yeah.
game, you're losing minus
And you
60s.
can't just play with anybody now, really. You gotta play with people you
Yeah.
only have chemistry with.
Mhm.
Previous seasons, I always play with like literally anybody. I didn't really ego unless I knew that you're a dog
for
meat.
Pred is what you're talking about, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. You're saying it's not because it's harder necessarily, but just because you have to play differently.
yes,
Yeah.
very different. If they're not on your page, it's just like the negatives just really add up now compared to what it
Mhm.
used to be. And you could end anything early, but if your team doesn't have patience or the same mindset as you, you could definitely lose a lot more than what it was.
So
Yeah.
is it even
Yeah.
determining
I wouldn't even
skill?
solo queue like this whole rank thing.
Hmm. And just
Like
going
it,
off me, I'm number 90 right now. I was like top 30 a few days ago, and just like playing with like branching off on the new players, I'm going to number 90. So that just says a lot.
how long did it take you to get to Pred this split? Did it take you longer, or was it like just did it feel different? Not really.
It was actually really different because what the Xbox players were doing.
Oh yeah, well
Um,
with the
but if
DDoS, yeah, the
yeah, if we base it off looking at PC, they're like just about a few days ago they just filled up Pred. And last season, Preds, well, previous seasons, really it would be the first day there were always Preds. This time, first day on PC, there were no Preds.
that's insane.
Yeah.
Dude,
How many days are left? There's 24 days
20,
left.
24, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not even filled in on PlayStation yet with
Yeah, I
the
feel
issue
like
being
there's gonna
fixed
be
for two
some
weeks.
people that are gonna be like Pred, that haven't like touched it, cause it's gonna be low probably, cause there's still 24 days left and there's like only 300 Preds.
Yeah. No, it's probably getting near 500 now, 400, 500.
Yeah.
If this
Okay,
was the old system, there already would have been more than 1,000 master players.
Mhm.
so do you think I remember what I was gonna ask, the current rank system, right? You said it's that it's got to play differently. So do you think the current rank system in season 13, with all the changes, everything they did, and I kind of want to hear all you guys response to this one, is like um do you think it determines skill better, or is it just that you have to play it a little differently?
It could really go both ways, because if you camp out to end game and you don't have the gun skill and the chemistry with your team, you're gonna die regardless. But it really based off what number you are too and how much you play, of course. But the skill part is always gonna be who has the best gun skill.
Do you think that applies for all the ranks or just Pred? Or will
All the
not?
ranks.
Okay.
I think it really depends on the map. I think Storm Point's a really good map for this because a lot of the RNG is like negated because you get a lot of loot. Personally, with this system, I think it's more skilled than it has ever been before because you really get all the loot you want. So if you're losing fights, it's because of what you are doing wrong, right? Especially with, like there's always going to be a lot of squads alive in the end game. You have to play out end game way better. Like you can't, you have to have like a somewhat of a brain now to, make it through the ranks. So I think this is like the most skilled it's ever been since like maybe season 2, and even back then, like I'm not gonna lie, it could be pretty brain dead. All you have to do is just have a good gunny, and then you just you just outgun everyone. You didn't really have to think about what you're doing. Right now, you have to think about what you're doing, and I,
Yeah.
I personally like that, bro.
See, and
I
this is
think it makes ranked like more refreshing. If I wanted to play pubs, I'll play pubs.
and
Even though like, pubs is not the same, obviously in ranked you're playing with your own teammates and you're also going up against like other similar skilled like players, right? So it is like different in that way. But it's also like, you're just like if you're a good player, you'll be shitting on most of the lobby, right? But right now you're getting punished for playing like like you're stupid, right? If you play stupid, you're
right.
gonna get punished for it.
Exactly. And I don't mean to cut you off, but I want to make a comment before I forget because this is really good what you just said. I want to get into this a little bit, especially with Nunez, bro, because we be talking about this a lot, bro. So
Mm.
what he said, right, about it was very, very different than what Pressure just said about he does think it takes a lot more skill. But then, like, when we were talking, when you were watching me play and stuff about, well, it's not that it's like that it's harder necessarily because the people are still bad. It's just that there's more alive. So that's like the differentiating factor, right? Like with what Pressure and Miners saying, the balance of, well, if you're not good, it doesn't matter if you stay alive. You're just getting fucked and rolled at the end of the game, right? So you're not gaining RP, and the higher you go in ranked, the sooner you're gonna die, the sooner you're not gonna make it to that end game. So I mean, I don't know. In my opinion, like that's where I kind of like. I feel like that's how ranked is supposed to be played. It's supposed to be played slower, and I feel like there's
Mhm.
certain Preds that are really good. Like I mean, and for those watching the video, like the guys in this party are really good. These are some of the best console players I've ever met. Like humbly, I'm being so serious. So when I say that these guys are used to playing Pred lobbies very aggressively and just pushing and winning and still holding Pred. Like that's how they play. And I feel like players like you guys are being forced to slow down and you don't like it. And so now you're like and that's just my opinion. All right. And I want to hear Nunez's response to that because that's what
Oh yeah.
I feel like is what is happening in the high ranks right now, which is how ranked is supposed to be played. So I mean, I don't know. What's your take on it?
I
No,
also
yeah.
have a caveat for that though, because right now it feels okay. Like it's gonna get worse when the maps are like different. Like on World's Edge even, like a lot of console players don't know actually how to play. Like they're gonna grief your game, they're gonna do some stupid shit, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
when it's not gonna be fun. Right now it's okay because Stormpoint's like such a big map where you could always like get loot no matter how, like a lot of ranked is also getting grief by other players and getting punished for the mistakes that they do, right? Getting punished for the decisions they make, right? And some of those decisions could be absolutely like it could just be griefy for both teams, right? And that's not good. That's what I mean when I say like console players don't really know how to play either, right? So that's what it like with the map right now, this is okay, but I think it's gonna get even worse. Like imagine this rank split or imagine this rank system in on KC. That's gonna be miserable.
Yeah.
That's not gonna be a fun time. And that's
Yeah.
basically what World's Edge is gonna be. It's gonna be only caustic Valks. Like it's gonna
A
force
lot of
yourself to,
caustics.
yeah, so many caustics, bro. Like it's right now it's okay. It's a little bit it's not
It's
as fun because you
bearable.
still,
I get
yeah.
what you're saying. Yeah, but it's bearable on Storm Point because it is a really
Mhm.
good ranked map. There's 15, 14 squads, right? And but you play it out, right? You're a good team. It's
Mhm.
it's it's not bad. I get what you're saying. Yeah. Case.
Endgame will always be fun on Stormpoint. even though like like I said, getting to endgame, that's all like a different thing for us now, cause before we could just kill the whole lobby and then it'll be over kind of quick, right? Like it'll be 5 squads or something. Now it's gonna be a lot more squads, but like I said, World Storm said, Storm's Point is like a good map, right? So it's okay that these things are happening. Once it gets to World's Edge, man, like it's not gonna be a fun time. Because KP doesn't matter, right? And people are still gonna int on you like it does.
Yeah.
They're gonna ruin their own game, they're gonna ruin your game, right? And it's just like stuff like
Do you
that is
think
not
people
gonna be a
will
good
learn
time.
from that, like with the new rank system? Do you think if we keep
Maybe
this in place,
eventually,
like yeah, go ahead.
Maybe, maybe eventually, but right now it's gonna be such a grief time. A lot of people, like a lot of people pick up weapons like the charge rifle, and like they will keep that shit until like the end game. Even though it necessarily doesn't like get a lot for them, maybe they get shields or whatever. But the whole point of that gun, or like any guns like it, is to just grief, right? So like I don't genuinely think console players like know how to play, and it's gonna make ranked not so fun with this
See, I'm
system
gonna be
when it
honest.
comes to other maps.
Like, because the whole like cringe thing, and I feel like that's more of a thing on console with like different weapons and whatnot. It's definitely a thing on PC a little bit, but nowhere near as bad as on console, right? As far as
Hmm.
like R3 crutch, or like why are you using a sniper? Like that's not a thing on
Console
PC,
players
right?
just
You
don't
don't
give a
hear
shit.
that, yeah, where they're like, why are you using? What do you mean? It's ranked. Of course I have a sniper. You know what I mean? They don't give a fuck.
Hmm.
But on console, it's like cringe. So for me, I think I just stopped caring about like people's opinions or what they think of my gameplay, or if I'm streaming, it's like, oh, this guy is cringe. It's like, bro, I don't give a fuck. My goal is to win the game. But on part with what you're saying, like I'm picking up an R3 or another SMG end circle off the team that I kill. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna keep that end game. So uh,
Hmm.
I think
Like a
it.
lot of console players, like another thing, on PC, you'll see people pick up the charge rifle and like stuff like that when they're like down bad. But most of the time, they'll run the usual, right? They'll run the wingmans, the tier ones,
Uh,
the
Yeah.
flatlines. They want to
Using the
win the game.
gibbies.
Yeah, they'll use the gibbies with bubbles, with shotguns, right? Like they'll use whatever they need to win the game. They'll still play aggressively, right? They know that these are the way to win. Therefore, right? And like on console, that's where the difference comes, right? They
yeah.
play Caustic and Rampart and all these charge rifle bows because they just like sitting in the back and just griefing, right? Because when it comes to up close, they get like kind of nervous, they get scared, they think they're gonna like choke the fight or whatever, and then they I don't know, like it's like they don't really want to win kind of thing, right?
Mm.
That's not their goal, which is what makes PC lobbies different from console lobbies. It's most console lobbies, like most people they don't care, they'll use whatever they will, right? It doesn't really matter. They'll use caustic charge rifle if it if it helps them win, bro.
What was your thoughts on that? All that, Nunez? I did want to hear your response to everything I
Do you guys
said.
want to talk about like the circles and the storm point?
Oh, regarding the skill,
Yeah, like people alive, like
well, I mean, for me, like the only reason I did not like this rank system or whatever was because obviously back then I would just go around and roll the entire lobby, right?
mm,
But like, obviously, like the point, I mean, to a certain extent, skill has to, it deals with getting used to new things, being able to, what is that word? Adjust.
Adapt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
adjust and adapt. So I mean that's part of the skill, right? Like if I want to gain in this map and I want to get pred, I have to adjust. Like it's just simple, right?
Mhm.
I can't be. I gotta be prioritizing endgame now. Like for example, the other day I was playing ranked and I was just inting everything and I was getting punished for it. I'm like, what's going on? I wasn't gaining any RP the first 2 hours. I'm like, what's going on? And then my buddy suggested, oh, we should just play. Let's get our beginning KP. Just camp it out for the rest of the. Just play circle. And that's when we started gaining. So like, it's not my preferred way of playing. Like, I mean, obviously, if I want to go frag out, I'll just play pubs. But who the fuck wants to play pubs, right? Uh, but I mean, yeah, it's just a matter of adjusting, and hopefully soon, I'll adjust and I'll have fun with the new rank system.
you're not having fun with it right now. You don't think? You would say?
I mean, I don't think personally, I don't think it's fun sitting in circle with with 15 squads all using fucking snipers and shit,
I think
just
for
griefing your shields.
well for
I
me,
think we're just used to something else. You
That's
know?
what I was.
it's-
That's
and
what I
that's
was
what I'm
gonna
saying.
say
That's
too.
what I'm
Because
saying.
for
I'm
me,
just not used to it. I'm gonna like maybe as I adjust, I will have fun. Maybe I'll start picking up a damn charge rifle and having fun myself.
no. Well,
But
okay,
as of now,
well,
that's not how I have
because
fun.
look,
The
listen,
way of
listen.
me having fun is rolling the entire lobby.
Not even for me, bro. Like for so I like I said earlier, I've never maintained pred, right? You know, I've always played ranked. I've always been competitive, and when I played ranked, old Apex, there was always like for me, I'm loving the new split, and when people ask me, I say it feels like old ranked with that, like, yeah, you have to play a little slower, and you know, I might not be as good where I can just run around and roll the lobby like what you were saying, but old ranked Apex, you know, there was 10, you know, when D3, when you hit D3, it was pred lobbies instantly, and it was 10 squads minimum, almost 10 squads minimum every other game. I'd say that's pretty realistic, right? In like third, fourth circle. And so it wasn't that the game was like slow. For me, what made ranked exciting was the end game. Like, yeah, you kind of play circle and loot, and oh, you might say it's boring or you're playing scared, whatever. But for me, that's ranked. Is it's not scared, it's smart. And then what makes it fun and worth it, which is like what mine and what Pressure was talking about, where if you don't have the skill, you're just gonna die, is those end game, is who's going to be those teams that doesn't have the skill that gets fucked, who's the teams that are actually good that's in this circle, and who are the teams that are just fucking was here 5 minutes ago just, you know, ratting scared for their life, you know what I mean? That's where like it all comes down. And then there's the caustic all and the jibby and the horizon, you know, like that's the fun part for me, is having 10 fucking 12 squads alive on my head, fourth circle, and coming out on top. Like that's so satisfying, bro. And in the and in the last couple rank seasons, let's be honest, that wasn't a thing at all, not even fucking close, bro. Pred was like,
Wins felt normal.
yeah, it was fucking 4 squads in fucking like third zone, bro. Like it didn't feel like ranked, it felt like fucking pubs. I'm personally in love with this new split. I think it's great. I think it's slower. I think it's how it should be, is slower. Like, I don't know.
The wins are a lot more satisfying now, for sure.
100%. That's
That I
what.
could agree on.
Yeah, right. And that was the thing for me with ranked, is that it was always more satisfying. Was the end games. Well, I appreciate you guys for your time.
Sure.
I'm gonna go ahead and call it. I think we did good here. I appreciate all you guys.
Yeah, man.
Alright, but
Got it, bro.